The Monsters Playbook is an adventure podcast for grown-ups. It contains violence and profanity and deals with adult themes that may be uncomfortable for some listeners. Specific content warnings can be found in the episode's show notes. Listener discretion is advised.
Welcome to the Monsters Playbook, an actual play Monster of the Week podcast that's frankly lousy with father figure characters. I'm not complaining, and I do get why, because, come on, it's just been surprising. It's a lot of dad energy over here. This week on the cover story, holy shit! So we're still in the Dead Sea, up against the thing committed to keeping it dead. But now, we have a plan, and we have a problem. The plan is to lure the Reaper into the infinite hallway, the other world, and try to strand it there. The problem is, the Reaper, it kind of sort of possessed Theo. So now Theo's supercharged, with 2 eyes of a dead god, being puppeteered by a blazing spirit of death, and Mark, Kira, and Anna are facing off against an enemy they do not want to fight. You know what we call that? Drama.
I'm John, and I play Mark Clayton.
I'm Lauren, and I play Kira and Anna Ashwood.
I'm Miah, and I play Theo Nessos.
I'm Jonny, I play literally everybody else. Let's get started. The good news is that most of the Reaper worms that had been pursuing you have been dealt with and removed from your sight. The bad news is something has gotten into your companion, Theo, and she's now looking at all of you like you ought not to be here. Can I get a head count?
The NPCs and us?
Yeah, who's still here and what's everyone's status?
It is both of my characters, Anna and Kira, and Mark and Tommy and Donovan and Lowry, and that's it. And then, the coachman, I think, technically is also still here.
And wasn't Ramsey here?
Yes.
Also, Jonny, by the way, you had described the holes in Theo's jeans, and like from her sleeves and collarbones, and like her eyes glowing orange.
Yes, I did. And I think before any of you can say or think much of anything, Theo is going to draw her hands together and thrust out a pillar of fire at Ramsey.
Can Anna use Watch Out, I think is what it's called.
Describe it.
It's one of her moves. So she's got a move that's called Watch Out. You can raise a shield to protect someone from harm. Roll plus weird. On a 10 plus, the harm is reduced by 2. On a 7 to 9, the harm is reduced by 1. If the person you are shielding is your master, which is Ramsey, you get a +1 for determining the roll.
Okay, roll Watch Out.
This is like literally what I meant to do, is protect my master as the apprentice. Oof, good roll, Anna. 13?
Okay, so that will reduce the harm by 2, you said?
Yeah.
Okay.
And she's like, watch out! Throws it up.
And I think Mark goes, Theo, wait!
So you throw up this shield and okay, so your shield that you your sort of energy shield?
So this is a little different, but I kind of imagine it probably looks like an energy shield because it is a form of magic, I think. So it's like just instead of having it like that she's holding it, she's placing it somewhere else. Like she's
Oh, I see what you mean. Okay.
Yeah. Like she's throwing this shield in front of psychically.
Okay, then that's perfect. So you throw up this shield just before this pillar of orange light and or fire strikes Ramsey, and it does stop some of it, but a large amount of it will bleed through, and your shield will shake and crackle and then dissipate. And then as it's thinning, a bunch of it will strike Ramsey. She won't just sort of be knocked back by it, but you will see a second figure thrust out of her body just briefly. And for a second, it's they're not quite sharing the same space, and then they'll recombine and she'll drop to her knees and double over in pain. I mean, for lack of a better term, this beam is a full-on death ray.
Great. I think Anna shouts out to everybody and is like, we need to stop her now. She's got literal death rays going out of her. Can Kira read a bad situation?
Sure.
So that is an 11 to read a bad situation.
Okay.
What is the best way to protect Theo, to help Theo out here, to get this thing out of her? Are there any runes glowing on her or anything?
Yes.
Because that was my other thought.
Yeah, there's not much of her skin is actually visible because she's wearing long pants and a sweatshirt, but the sense that you get because like the edge of her sleeves and the top of her hoodie and all the holes in her jeans there's light coming out of them.
Do we know if we were to like obscure those runes, if it would stop the reaction?
Well, we've known from prior experiences with like runes, if we can like disfigure the runes in some way, that it like usually disrupts whatever the runes are doing. So, I mean, yeah, but there's probably a lot of them on there. What was the answer to the best way to help Theo?
One of the ways is that if your knowledge of this thing as it sort of stood before was the runes that are sort of attached to her, if you could detach them, otherwise obscure them, that would be one way. Or the sense that you kind of get based on what you think she was doing when this happened was that her mind has sort of gone into sync with the Reaper or been overtaken by. So if you can find some way to override or kick them out of sync mind-wise. While you think of your second question, I do want to tell you, Theo, that you are like that thing that the Star King's been saying, a story doesn't make sense without an ending. You get it. It makes perfect sense. And all of these things walking around here are just waiting to be ended. That's what you're here for. That's what you do.
Great.
Second question, who poses the biggest threat to Theo?
Ramsey.
Okay. Would you allow me to ask, like, what's the best way into Theo's mind? To, like, infiltrating Theo's mind to maybe, like, sever that connection?
Yeah, I would let you ask that. Mark.
Okay. And where were the beams coming out of, by the way? Was it coming out of like her hands, eyes? What were they coming out of?
They were kind of being projected fully out of her arms.
Like from where the runes and stuff were?
Yeah, like as a whole. Yeah.
Okay.
The end of the sleeves of her sweater are like ragged, like torn off.
So wait, did this energy that's coming out damage the sweater a bit?
That's what
Yes.
he's saying, yeah. Like the
Okay.
ends of the sweater are ragged from the...
So like kind of a weird question along those lines, because like the sweatshirt is an enchanted item. Does that get damaged at all?
Not so far.
Oh, I didn't like that answer. Okay.
Okay, so I think with some of that information, Kira's gonna like yell to Ramsey and be like, whatever you can do it now. And then I think she looks at Mark, she's like, Mark, you need to get in her head, separate her from whatever this fucking thing is. And I think, can Kira try to do some magic channeling Ember's powers?
Say more things.
I'm sort of kind of wanting to like bring up like a barrier of like around the earth itself, almost like molten rock, like to kind of encase around her so that she can't shoot any beams out at us.
That's cool.
Ooh.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Roll use magic.
Okay, it's good. 11.
Okay, yeah. So like a ring around Theo begins to boil into lava and like shoot up and form and immediately flash cool into this just like glassy stone closed tulip shaped barrier thing. You can hear a muffled snarling from inside and then just this like just this like
Do it now, guys, something.
you've bought yourselves a little bit of time.
All right. Mark puts his hands on his head and just like brain blasts into Theo's mind.
Roll plus weird.
10.
Yeah, Mark, you rocket yourself into Theo's mind.
Theo!
You've been in here before, but it does feel like abandoned. She's not here where she's supposed to be. She's very high in the air, such as it is, and there is a violent red lightning storm all around. You have to fly into that storm, Mark.
How is he gonna fly?
Well, he's in her mind.
Okay. Yeah.
I guess Mark is gonna try and fly
How are you going to fly, Mark?
through the power of magic. Is there anything around, or is it just kind of this open space and then there's the sky?
Theo, what sort of like room, or did you have a Mind Palace description in mind? Because like when you were hanging out with Dockers, I feel like there was kind of a library.
Yeah, in the past, it used to be her family's library, but a little bit different and altered.
Yeah.
But there's this like really tall ceiling or something like that. It like just goes
Yeah,
on forever.
I think yes. The room goes up and actually sort of probably like 15 feet up. It's like someone ripped the roof off of it.
Okay, Mark is gonna try something really weird. Is he able to shift his perception of this place in reverse so he falls into the sky?
I want you to roll plus sharp
Interesting.
to do that.
14.
Joof. Okay. Impressive. So yeah, you are now looking down into this cloud.
And I just fall with style.
Yep, you just let your feet go and rocket down into the sky.
Is the bracelet, because I still have Theo's bracelet, right? Yeah.
The bracelet she made you, yeah.
Does that have protection runes against anything? Like
Possession, yeah.
Possession, and it has 1 armor, 1 time.
I'm just wondering if there's any rune on there that, like, I don't know. Like,
That you could transfer?
no, that I could, protect myself from the lightning and stuff like that, because I'm assuming this is dangerous to me, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, between that armor and the armor of the bracelet or whatever, I think I'm just going to fall into it.
Okay, I'm going to have you roll Act Under Pressure.
9.
So I think between your having decided that you are falling, the fact that you are in a total mindscape place, and then some like clever Iron Man propulsion with some well-placed fire magic, you are mostly able to avoid being fully struck by this lightning. There is the matter of coming to a stop at where Theo actually is, which will take you fully by surprise, because she is in a kind of like semi-physical just bubble in the center of this cloud.
When I see that, I'm going to try and continually rotate this perception of the space so that I'm stationary.
Well, and that part happens a little clumsily, but you do manage to land sort of a bit behind her on your face.
Okay. Oh, Theo, what's going on?
And you can see she is like in some kind of a large semi-technological, semi-organic chair with a lot of different wires and tendrils coming out of them and going directly into her skin.
Do I see anybody observing the situation? Is there any... Because I realize she's probably not aware that I'm there.
You're looking around, there's not a figure in this sort of bubble with you, but there is, you can see, forming out of the cloud and sort of assembling as if energy from the lightning, a gigantic pair of eyes.
Oh, great.
Outside, there are now cracks forming in this stone in between all of you.
I do think Anna and Kira would be like looking to Ramsey like, any bright ideas?
She is still sort of shaking herself and trying to regain her bearings. Yeah, I've just gotta, like, she tries to stand up and her legs give out for a second.
I think Anna maybe kind of like tries to help her like stand straight. It's like, it's like runes, right? Like if we can do the runes in reverse, would that maybe knock the possession out of her?
Yeah, but nobody wrote them. You can't unwrite something that just snapped. How do you have to like unsnap? At that point, from the top, first of all, there's just a laser shoots straight up and sort of fizzles out, and then some are coming out at random in different directions, heating up the very air around you.
Can Anna like help reinforce that like encasement by shooting like that she had picked up a few sessions ago? She could do an ice blast, which has a restraining.
I'm gonna have you roll help out.
That's a 10.
So Anna steps away from Ramsey and like goes and holds out her hands and is sort of like patching over some of the cracks that have formed with ice they'll stick around for a second, but they are melting pretty quick.
Mm-hmm. Come on, something. Come on, boss. You got this. You're like the smartest person I know. What do you got?
Do you have a mentor role?
Well, so I am the apprentice, so I don't necessarily have manipulate them to do something, but I have novice polymath, where it's like your mentor is as wizened as they come. They're teaching you a vast array of knowledge. You can consult your notes and books of study, roll plus sharp, tell a useful piece of info.
Then why don't we have Anna roll plus sharp?
Why you do this to me? 8.
Okay, so what I want to happen is for Donovan to kind of be speaking up and be like, the last time we dealt with something like the Reaper, I was able to just shift the boy back in time before time magic won't work here. We're not on Earth, nothing's spinning. Could we just like cleansing spell, wash them off? But you said there was nothing written. They're just mental projections. We can befuddle. Okay.
Okay, what the fuck is that? How do we do that?
She's gonna start drawing out a circle in the sand, but it's going oblong. She's disoriented still.
Can I help her?
Yes.
Is that a help out roll, or what do you need?
I need Anna to roll use magic.
12, advanced move.
Okay. So you're gonna like, oh, she's doing that and like trying and like futzing, and then you like put a hand on her hand to be like, just tell me what to do. I can do this.
Just walk me through it, boss.
Right. Okay. And then she's like telling you and giving you the names of runes that you are miraculously remembering.
Oh, that's the one that kind of looks like a dick. Yeah, okay.
Oh my god.
That's exactly how Anna would remember those things. She'd be like,
That's
this
the one
one
that looks like 2 dicks.
Yeah, exactly.
Titty rune? Got it. I'm very mean, but I'd already rolled this. So that is going to cause all of the ice on the cage to melt, and a huge, straight, thin pillar of fire is going to fly in an instant and collide with Tommy Sparks.
Can Kira try to protect him?
No. Well, you can try.
Okay. 11.
Okay.
Actually 12, because I get a +1 for using magic from before advanced move.
Excuse me?
So whenever I roll magic, I get +1 forward. And that was the last roll I had done was magic. So for Kira.
Okay.
So that's a 12 advanced move.
Fair enough.
Don't hurt my boy.
Then you tell me what happens. The laser's coming for your man.
Yeah, I kind of think like Kira is like, well, because I think she's trying to focus on like keeping these cracks like sealed. And then I think she kind of sees one coming. And at the same time that I think that like that laser goes off, I think she almost kind of like sends a blast of her own like force at it to try to maybe like disrupt the energy like direction, if that makes sense, so that it misses Tommy. Like almost, you know what I'm seeing? It's almost like she like catches like the beam itself and it like shoots off.
Okay. I think that makes sense.
Okay. I mean, the other option is I literally could just dive and like snatch him up and then fly away with him.
That's more what I was thinking, but whichever you want to do.
I'll do the second one. I'll hug my boy. I will see it come and be like, Tommy! And I think she like leaps and kind of grabs him and then like just flies up and out of the way.
And because it's an advanced move, for at least another couple of seconds, this cage will hold.
Okay.
So Anna's doing that. Kira's hugging her boy. Mark, this presence rumbles like thunder at your intrusion, and you see Theo like physically connected to this something or other. What do you do?
And you said there's kind of this cocoon around her.
No, not really. It's just the chair that like is the back, and then she's otherwise sort of like exposed but connected to it.
Does she seem awake?
No, her eyes are closed.
Is there any way for me to tell if by disconnecting some of these cables, if I'm going to end up killing her?
There is no way for you to tell.
Where are all these wires feeding into?
Okay, I'm going to have you roll read a bad situation.
9.
Most of them seem to sort of feed back into the large, sort of clumpy rear of the chair. Like the chair itself has like enough surface area for her to be sort of reclined in it. Below her, there is almost this like turtle shell mass of something.
A turtle shell on the back of this chair?
Yeah, and it's like paneled like with some kind of unclear carbon fiber maybe. These wires and vines are going inside of the chair.
This is the one time I'm going to ask, Jonny, can we go deeper?
Oh, boy.
Can I try to jump into this into this data stream because I honestly don't know if doing this will kill her. And this is a mind space, so I figured a little bit of Inception is okay, but you can tell me if that's too much. Would going into that protect me from the outside, or would I be exposed to whatever those eyes are?
Honestly, I think it's fully Inception rules, where your body is defenseless in the real world, in the real world, in there, while you've put your consciousness here. If you're going to go deeper, you're going to leave this version of you in the same place that Theo's body, quote unquote, is. The two of you will be asleep and here.
But maybe time is different, so I have a little bit more time?
Maybe.
Well, I don't know if... Well, and is this thing still like building itself?
Which thing? The chair or the thunderhead?
The thunderhead that was building itself.
Yeah, I think it's like formed the very basic outline of a head with eyes, and it's rumbling at you.
Okay, so I do think I'm going to try and go in for a split second to just check and see what this thing is feeding into and to find Theo.
Okay, I'm going to have you roll plus weird. And if I can ask, just as a personal favor to me, if you could miss, that'd be really cool.
That'd be a 10. I'm sorry to inform you.
You know, every time you ask, it never works out.
Yes, please keep asking.
Because that's how dice works.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Okay, here's what I'm going to do. Theo,
Yeah.
would you roll use magic for me?
Oh no.
Please tell me.
15.
Oh, holy Jesus.
Miah,
Yeah.
Would you get a D8 for me?
Oh, wait, what?
He's gonna make it be a random attack. He's gonna try to hit one of us with this thing again.
7.
Okay. So this thing is still like crackling and little slits of light are breaking through it. And then suddenly the top just blows off and Theo soars into the sky, holds out her arms and opens up this huge person-sized beam of energy at the stationary form of Mark Clayton.
Oh boy.
But sailing towards him is Donovan.
Can I help somehow?
How?
I think if Kira sees this coming, she might try to like shoot up another jet of like rock to like try to like intercept the beam again.
Why don't you roll help out?
Okay, 8.
You had picked up Tommy and flown into the air?
Yeah.
You're going to drop him.
How high up are we?
High enough.
I don't think we were that high. I mean, it was just high enough.
15 feet maybe?
Okay.
Oh, still a heckin' fall.
I mean, I don't want to chance you guys getting hit with this thing. I'm really concerned that it's like going to kill you guys instantly or kill a bystander instantly. Yeah. I think Kira might do it and be like, "Oh, Tommy turned into a werewolf."
So Kira will drop Tommy, who will like befuddled halfway down, turn into a werewolf and land on all fours. A very small stone half wall will shoot up, basically sort of cutting out the middle part of this huge body-sized laser at Mark. So essentially a third of it will still hit you, Mark, and Donovan. You will both take 2 harm. Donovan's entire left arm, his suit has just singed off. And his arm is like 2nd-degree burns. And then Mark, ditto, like your sort of midsection.
How's the spell coming that Anna and Ramsey are doing?
You are almost done. Basically what you are doing is you have constructed the same sort of school of magic as the like ambition ward from way back in Exploding Boy. If you can get Theo into there, her mind will lose focus.
So drawing a ward on like the ground?
Yes, if you can get her in that circle.
Okay.
It'll befuddle her mind and anything inside will lose its purchase.
Okay. I think Kira, like, enraged at seeing all the people that she loves about to, like, fucking die with these death rays, just was like, "Ah!" And I think she screams, and I think she, like, tries to, like, summon, like, this, like, huge amount of power, and, like, literally, like, jaws, like, come down of like, the earth to, like, cage
Holy
Theo back down
shit.
on the ground.
That's 2. Roll use magic.
Mark in his just like stupor from going 2 levels deep just goes, wow.
15 advanced move.
Shit.
Oh my god.
So that happens. Built out of sand and glass and stone, these huge jaws, almost looking like a bear trap, reach up, slam shut above Theo, and drag her down.
Has Theo taken any harm from all of this?
I don't think so.
I was gonna say most of this has been more just to like restrain you.
Yeah,
It's
like-
not been like a direct attack at you.
Like even those jaws, I think, didn't hit you. They were to envelop. Theo, you are in a, it's the middle of the afternoon. You're in an old, crowded courtroom. It's the height of summer. Everyone here is very sweaty, tired, ready for things to get over with. You are seated at the highest chair. You are the judge. You have quite a few cases to get through today, and they are lined up. And standing in front of you right now is someone charged of the crime of basically impersonating a human. And she's dressed like kind of a skater punk with like a denim vest, a little stocking cap,
Okay.
and her heavily tattooed arms are bound together in handcuffs. And a burly bailiff who is Deacon is holding her by the shoulder. A voice next to you will clear its throat and go, "You really should finish this up." And you turn and look, and in like the tan sort of bailiff officer's uniform, but with a glass helmet, is the Star King.
So I have to decide if this person is guilty or not.
Pass judgment, Your Honor. We've got a lot of things to finish up today.
Okay. I mean, impersonating a human is a high charge.
Capital offense, Your Honor.
Capital offense.
What are you waiting for? Yeah, do it. Rebel, 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 rebel.
Mark in the back. Don't do it.
Who is this girl?
It's Ramsey Lincoln. Mark, I'm going to need you to roll act under pressure to maintain composure after getting your belly burnt.
12 advance move.
Sick. Mark, you find yourself, your hands are bound and you're being basically rushed down this drab tiled hallway.
Whoa, what's going on?
Keep it down.
What do you mean?
You're late already. We're going to get this over with, okay?
Who is it?
It's a glass helmeted bailiff. And they get you to a set of double doors, push one of them open, and with a hand on your back, shove you through. Theo, into your courtroom.
Fuck.
And into the line has walked Mark Clayton.
No.
I think Mark is just like looking down, breathing heavily since he just got hit. I picture him on his knees, kind of.
Speak to her, Mark.
I don't even think it's like I don't even see her yet, probably until I look up and I go, Theo?
What are you doing here?
I don't know. I was here to save you.
Wait your turn, convict. And the guy who's the deacon that's holding Ramsey will punch you in the face, Mark, knocking the glasses from your eyes. And I think here they're not on fire.
They're just normal eyes again?
Theo, for I think the first time ever, you are able to see Mark's eyes.
Oh, well, what color are they?
I think I would just in the movie version of this, I think I'm like looking up and realizing there's no heat and her looking at me funny. And I look down at my broken glasses and like see my eyes again since a long time ago.
In the reflection of them?
In the reflection of the glasses. I probably decided this a while ago, but I think they might be like hazel or like greenish, I guess.
I like green.
Do I recognize Lincoln Ramsey or Ramsey Lincoln?
Distantly. She seems familiar, but she's probably been through your courtroom a time or two, and you're honestly probably getting a little sick of it. You'd like it to end.
I think Theo's just gonna like wave her hand at this defendant. The usual. Impersonating a human is inexcusable.
Deacon's gonna go, with due respect, Your Honor, could you be more specific? This isn't a bar. You can't order the usual.
Why are you doing this to me, Johnny?
I'm not doing it.
Can I put my hands on the floor and set this place on fire?
I don't know, Mark. Can you?
I think Mark is going to do this just to interrupt everything because he's like, I need this to fall apart so this illusion is broken.
Hang on. You don't have your fire magic here.
Ooh, that's a wrench in things. Do I have any magic ability here?
If you can imagine a reason why you could, you can.
The only reason I would have any abilities outside of just normal human abilities is because I think I still have a tether back to my original body, whereas the instances of people in this reality are just part of this reality. So that I would hope grants me a little bit of control, if that makes sense.
Yep. So I won't let you set the place on fire, but you could do something else that use magic would let you do.
Theo, I think, is going to say guilty, execution. I'm tired of seeing their face here.
Theo, roll use magic.
Interrupt it, Mark. Interrupt it.
I want to break the fabric of this reality.
I want to break free. It's a 9.
Okay. Pick a glitch.
The effect is weakened.
Clever.
I like how you played that.
So, Mark, you have one chance to try something to do something.
Can I change the appearance only to Theo of all of these characters in her head to Mark and overwhelm her and let her like bring her consciousness like to awareness?
like it's clear that it's not real or
Yes.
something. That's
Yeah.
like a break from reality.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Basically just like flooding her mind and slowly taking over to be like, hey, I'm here.
Mark. Hi, Theo.
Dislike.
I like that approach.
The bailiff's Mark. Oh my God. The defendant's Mark. Oh my God.
Hi, Mark.
No, I'm Mark.
So hold that thought, because yes, but not for this. Anna,
Yeah.
you are finishing up this circle, and Ramsey like closes it, and the whole thing like dully glows with some kind of latent power.
Mm-hmm.
And she looks up at you tired and says, okay, now we just got to get her into the and like this very thin ray goes straight into just between her chest and shoulder.
Ah! Anna like kind of like screams.
And then, yeah, for just a second, again, she like kind of desinks and slams back together and like skids across the sand.
Okay, and like Kira was bringing that cage down. Is it down?
Yes, it's down.
So she's in the thing, right? Or no?
Not in the circle, no.
Oh, that was my intent was to try to cage her and like bring it down like literally like a mouse trap onto the spot. You know, like the game Mousetrap.
Thanks. Yeah.
I want Mark to roll use magic for the marketing, and then I want Kira to roll act under pressure to get Theo's body into the circle.
13.
Fucking right. 16 advance move.
Gunga, damn. So Theo, in the courtroom, Ramsey is taken away, but like starts to freak out about it and scream and is like, you can't fucking do this to me. This whole thing's a sham. This whole courtroom is out of order. And starts like pushing back against all the like chairs and trying to stop herself from being dragged out. The bailiff next to you kind of nudges you on the arm and is like, she's right. You know, you really can't do this. And then you turn and it's Mark and he's like sort of confused as to why you're there. And he's here like, none of this is any of our jobs. And then the guy who's dragging her out actually also is like, I shouldn't be doing this either. And it's also Mark. He stops. And then all the people who had been screaming, shouting cheering for you to execute the defendant are like, no, you can't do that. And they are also Mark. And there's so much Mark Clayton in here that you are certain that this shouldn't be possible.
Wait, what feels like kind of like banging on her gavel, like order. Order.
As she's doing that, Mark, everything as everyone's talking, I think they all become in sync and they all start saying a similar thing, just trying to get her to know that this is a thing that she's in. Come back. And then it slowly gets louder and louder. Theo, come back.
Theo's gonna like stand up and like back away. I feel like grip like her head, like trying to muffle her ears, trying to keep the sound out. And
I want one of the Marks to run up and grab the gavel and throw it at the wall.
Locked under pressure, Mark.
11. It's like an Apple commercial from the 80s. Just
honestly, kind of, because you throw it at the wall, it pounds a huge basketball-sized crack, huge hole in the wall. What seemed to be like a very thick, dark, old wood paneled wall is very clearly made out of just like balsa wood or like paper.
Just breaks away.
Yeah, it's like a set.
Tell me what you think about this, but I think like because Theo is so overwhelmed with all of this, like I can't remember what specific movie, but I feel like I've seen it in movies and TV shows where this character is like in their head and freaking out, but everything then just like smashes to like white. Everything's just white. There's no edges. There's no corners. It's just all white. Mm-hmm. And I think it's just Theo and it's just Mark.
That's actually kind of what I was going for with the throwing the gavel thing. Like if it hit that, it would trigger something to deconstruct the place or something. I don't know.
In order to do that, Theo, I'm going to need you to roll plus weird.
9.
Okay. It's just you. No Mark. Mark, you're back in the clouds.
What do I see immediately around me?
Immediately around you, you see Theo plugged into this chair and the form of a head with eyes made out of clouds and some approaching hands also made out of clouds. Theo, you're in a white, featureless void.
Mark,
Theo, strapped to the chair, just goes,
Mark.
Based on the runes that, I'm trying to think what I did in my house where the runes were involved. We made a transmutation circle to open a portal. During that research, would I have been able to find some type of a rune something that neutralizes like any connections to her for a shorter period of time or something like that?
Well, the bad news is no, but the good news is that something like that is happening outside of this.
Don't you have a move that's like cast out evil or banish?
I think, yeah, that was going to be my next thing is cast out evil.
It will. So there will be repercussions. Well, why don't you roll that?
7, which means on a 7 to 9, it takes a little while for the banishing to take effect. The creature has time to make 1 or 2 actions. Either way, the banished creature is unharmed. You have no control over where it goes.
So, Kira,
yeah,
with the stone and like your mind, and then gradually grabbing and pulling her, you are putting Theo into this circle. As that's happening, Mark, you are trying to like reach out with your mind and disconnect the influence, if not the sort of physical contact that these wires and tendrils are having on Theo, while what's happening around you is like an earthquake meets a tornado meets being shaken up in a snow globe. everything around this little bubble is just being wrenched into chaos and blurring and shaking and losing all sense of direction. Because it is taking you some time, it's just the same sort of feeling as deciding that this way was down that got you up here, except you no longer have any control over which way is down. You grab onto the chair to try to maintain your position here, and you're gradually able to get Theo to wake up, but by that point this bubble has fully burst and the two of you are just flying around in the sky crazily and at random. Theo, you can't think, you can't focus. Mark, you can't think, you can't focus. You feel dizzy or drunk or like you just got hit in the head with a brick.
Theo's gonna wrap her arms around Mark, just hugging him, grabbing him.
I don't know what's going on, but I do know one thing, and that Theo's right here, so I think that's what he holds on to.
Mark, teleport us, bring us somewhere else. Make us stop falling.
I mean, do I know enough to know that this is still a dream type of thing that I'm in? Or am I completely out of it?
You used to know. That was way back there.
I think Mark is gonna not realize it and try to just fall back into there. And I don't know what that means.
Roll plus weird.
11.
Okay. So you grab Theo tight and you do your teleporting thing. Yeah, the rest of you can see, with their arms wrapped around each other, both on their knees, inside this circle, Mark and Theo are just sitting in the center in a desperate hug.
Okay. So I'm confused. Can you explain this ambition ward thing? Does that mean that this thing is out of Theo now? How does
it wasn't actually an ambition ward, it was the same school.
Similar idea, yeah.
So the two of them inside of this circle are utterly befuddled and their minds can't grip onto anything. The principle being that will give the thing that has inhabited Theo nothing to hold on to.
So is it out of Theo now?
It is likely draining out of her, yes.
Okay. And do we know how to kill this thing?
You know how to get rid of it.
By getting it into the hallway?
Mm-hmm.
And we could just pull them out, right? And they wouldn't be befuddled anymore.
Or you could scratch out the circle, but you better be sure that the Reaper is fully out of Theo.
But the thing needs to be fully out of Theo first. So I think Anna, seeing this, I think Kira's get Mark out. We need to open up the door to the hallway. And I think Anna will kind of pull Mark out of the circle.
Well, it will take you a bit because, yeah, they have their arms wrapped around each other, and that is about the only thing they understand right now.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to disentangle the two of them. So yeah, Mark, you basically wake up and you see a crouching Theo, confused, hugging herself.
Theo.
Nope, Mark, nope. Anna pulls her fucking collar back and is nope, you need to open the door to the hallway right now so that we can get this thing back through.
But
she's gonna be fine. Listen to me, Mark Clayton. And I think she puts your hands on the side of your face. She's listen to me, Mark Clayton. She's going to be fine, but I need you to do this right now. Do you hear me?
Roll manipulate someone.
Because I think Mark's brain is still rushing.
Theo's in the fetal position.
11 to manipulate.
Mark, this actually makes sense to you.
Oh, yeah.
That's all coming back to me.
Right.
We're not going to let anything happen to her. She's going to be okay. You need to go do this, though.
You're right. All right. And then I think Mark just runs over to the...
You are near enough to the place where there had been a doorway.
I think Mark just nods and then goes to do that.
And then I'm kind of wondering, Jonny, so this thing, the Reaper that is spilling out of Theo, first of all, what does it look like? Does it have a form?
Right now, it kind of just looks like there's orange steam coming off of her. You know, when you're very warm or wet in the cold.
Yeah. And if this thing is in the circle, is it also befuddled?
That's unclear. This kind of magic is designed to work on human brains and minds.
So my thinking is I'm wondering if Kira could do some magic using her life draining abilities.
Mm-hmm.
Stay with me here. But I think Kira can kind of sense life energies, kind of similar to how the Reaper does with her life drain. And the Reaper is attracted to life.
Mm-hmm.
I'm kind of wondering if I can make a fake target that it would go and follow after, that it would so that it would lead it into the hallway.
Mm-hmm.
Is that something I could do? Something to emulate the life essence I'm fine with hurting a little bit of myself if I need to.
I figured you would be.
Yeah.
Because that's what it will take. You won't be able to simulate life essence like that.
I actually have to use life essence and wield it, kind of.
Pull it. Yeah.
That's what I think Kira would want to do. Like, once this thing is pulled out of Theo completely, she's saying this to Anna. She'll be like, okay, as soon as that thing comes out, I need you to pull Theo out, and I'm gonna do this life essence thing. Hopefully it'll confuse it and it'll follow it into the hallway. And then they'll kind of like try to time it at the same time.
Donovan's gonna come over to you, but in order to get something that's going to shine bright enough, you could kill yourself.
I'm gonna be fine. It'll be fine. How is he doing, by the way? Because Donovan got kind of hurt, right?
Yeah, he's burned as hell. His whole left arm.
I think Kira might be like, well, if any of you want to spare a little, feel free.
Group contribution.
Kind of like implying, like, if you wanna contribute to the blood pact, like, here you go, here's your time.
Oh boy. Okay.
I don't think she would look to Ramsey, because I know Ramsey is really hurt. I do think Kira and Anna would contribute.
I'm going to need Mark to roll plus weird to open this door.
That's a 12.
Congratulations. So you reach out, find the little catch, pull it down, and open this like rip in the fabric of reality. Kira, roll use magic.
Does Anna roll a help out?
Yes.
Kira rolled an 11 for use magic. Anna rolled a 12 advanced moves. That makes Kira's an advanced. Actually, no, wait. 13 advanced move.
Okay.
Yeah, I kind of think like Anna would be like, I'm not letting you do this on your own, Kira, and I would like grab Kira's hand and like get ready to yank Theo out
Okay.
when the time's right.
So that part I'm not as concerned about, so that can just happen. But Anna and Kira are like huddled around, shoving their life force into basically a glowing, floating ball of energy. And it will grow. It is still going to cost 2 harm on both of you.
Both of us? Okay.
And then, goddamn, advanced move. TV show version, I think first Donovan is going to shuffle forward. Tommy will put a hand on his shoulder and shake his head and then step forward. But then a hand will tug on his shirt and Lincoln Ramsey will stumble in, looking basically like more androgynous than you've ever seen them. Like somehow sharing features of both Lincoln and Ramsey, and will like hold a hand over the ball of energy, which will then start to spin and glow and stitch itself with different colors of light. Lincoln Ramsey will like straighten up, and not all the color, but I think a lot of their hair will like go gray, like streaks.
Mm-hmm.
And then this ball will zip away as though it has a mind of its own and rocket here and there, and the smoke that's coming out of Theo will sort of form up, point itself at the ball, and chase it into this door into the hallway.
Get the fuck out of here.
Mark, would you roll plus weird to close the door?
10.
I think honestly, Mark, Lowry's going to put a hand on your shoulder. We need to have a talk about charging into stupid, dangerous situations.
What?
So can I get a clarification on where everybody is?
So you have just been pulled. Theo has just been pulled out of this befuddlement circle and is quite confused indeed. But huddled around each other are Kira, Anna, and Lincoln Ramsey.
Oh, now it's Lincoln?
It's sort of somewhere in between.
Okay.
And standing near to them are Tommy and Donovan. Off to one side is Mark and Lowry.
Did the coachman go away?
No, and the coachman is there.
He just rides
too.
off on a tricycle.
The coachman's there also.
Yeah.
Just watched that whole thing and was like, good show, jolly good show.
But he doesn't have his coach, right? Or does he?
Mark drove it here.
Oh, that's right. Okay. I think he's actually over by it, sort of checking it for damage, of which there is some.
I think Anna had kind of pulled you out and is like, Theo, are you okay?
What?
Someone who isn't Mark is talking to you, which seems weird. You thought that everyone would be Mark, but that doesn't make any sense, does it?
Thea's gonna like sort of blink awake. I think she still has like a slowly dulling headache still from slamming an eye into her eye, and like closes her eyes again. Don't tell me.
Got possessed again. Sorry.
You got possessed again.
I said, don't tell me. Thea's kind of roll up to sit on her butt and like cross her legs.
Don't we have like a protection bracelet for you so that you don't get possessed?
No.
Oh, well, we should get one for you.
Theo's gonna slowly kind of look around and survey the damage. How bad is it? How bad was it?
I think Anna kind of like looks up at Ramsey Lincoln. It's like, well, I think Ramsey Lincoln kind of got the worst of it. Donovan looks pretty banged up too, but we're okay. You know, we'll be fine.
Donovan has, with a no small amount of reluctance, ripped his jacket into strips and wrapped them around his arm.
Really hate coming here.
Yeah, this place kind of sucks. But there shouldn't be any more of those things anymore. So that's good.
How bad is my sweatshirt, Jonny?
Well, because of the 2 blasts, it is kind of hanging around you like a cape. The back is largely undamaged, and the hood...
Well, there's no hood. It's just it's a college sweatshirt, if those are what those are called. It's a hoodless sweatshirt.
Anyway, so yeah, the back is largely undamaged, but the whole of the front and much of the sleeves is just in tatters. Preserving your modesty is the tank top that you would wear underneath it.
Oh, no. And Theo's, I think, gonna like try and carefully take it off and kind of like gripping it in her hands, kind of like a child with their like childhood like blanket got ruined.
Yeah. Maybe we can fix it. I don't
think so.
I'm sure there's probably a spell or something we could do.
It's not the same.
No, it's not. I think Anna's like looking around at everybody that's like really injured, and she's not doing so great herself either. And she's like, I think we could maybe use a little pick me up. And I think she's gonna try to find that heart glow spell.
Aw.
To spend some time to heal everybody up.
We'll use magic.
That is an 11 advanced.
Well, congratulations.
Because I get a +1 when using my book.
Oh, wait, so that makes it a 12 advanced move? Okay.
Yes. Yeah, because I had an 11, but I get a +1 on top of my weird roll because it's part of my equipment. I get a +1.
Well then, where you are sort of sitting, emanating from Anna and her book is this like warming glow that, kind of for all of you to some degree or another smells like home. And over the next 10 minutes, you will all heal 1 harm. And then, provided she can continue to focus on that, you'll continue. What do you want to do?
I think like Anna would be sitting down and maybe taking a minute to like check in on Ramsey Lincoln. Are you doing okay?
Yeah, she's sitting down, looking more Ramsey-like by the moment, and is actually just like picking up sand and kind of rubbing that into her weird little burn wound. We'll be fine. I might have to spend some time in the woods, but we'll be fine.
Why? What happens in the woods?
Healing, kid.
How do the woods make you heal?
Not the woods you're thinking of.
The witch wood?
Don't worry about it. What's what's our next move?
I don't know. We have a couple of things I guess we could do. There's Theo's eye thing. There's that whole spell to create that like mind knife thing. That's a thing we could figure out. Any bright ideas on how we might do that?
How long is Lowry still around?
Well, he's fine here.
I mean, in the over.
Back outside.
Back outside, his body wouldn't sustain itself, so he'd have to go back into one of our heads if we go back out. But we're here for right now.
Yeah.
But I think Anna would be like, anybody got any bright ideas on how we might do that spell? Regicide?
And sorry, what's Theo doing?
Sitting quietly to herself.
Mourning her sweater.
Yeah, just overall being embarrassed and shameful to herself. Feeling bad.
I think Mark would have went over to you and like sat down and why the long face? But
bad, Mark, bad.
Just kidding.
He's trying to.
I think that tracks with what Mark would say, jokingly. You know that whole thing wasn't your fault.
Bad things happen to us, Theo. It's not our fault that they happen. They just happen. It's Kira.
It just feels like a lot of these bad things have been happening because of me, or centered around me and then hurting all of you.
I mean, all the things happen to us because we are part of a lot of things. Like, it's not our fault, though.
We've all been there.
Yeah.
I've been possessed. Mark's been possessed. Casey's been possessed a few times.
Everybody's doing it.
Yeah. It happens. We know it's never personal.
I just worry that this magic that I can wield is wrong, that I'm using it wrong.
I don't think there's a right way to use it. You just have to own it. It's part of you.
It's kind of hard owning a magic that hurts others.
I think Kira is like, yeah, tell me about it. I get it, Theo. But what's important, and I think Kira might actually kind of like take your hand, you never intended to do those things. That's not you. Do not blame yourself for the actions of someone else. You hear me?
Yeah.
Mark will take your hand.
Speaking of magic and the regicide, I might have an idea or two. And I also want to remind us that we also have to get the will into obsidian.
Which is what the mind knife thing would be. That's how it would be done, basically, right, Jonny?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like we have to create that first. And that's how once we have it separated, then we can put it into the obsidian. That's how it works.
So there's been these spells that I've been trying to work through, and I haven't really tried them yet. But maybe they could be helpful in going up against the Star King. But one of them has to do something with the mind. And Theo kind of looks nervously at Anna.
What's that?
Well, Theo opens her duffel bag and pulls out her notebook and flips through some pages to where she had been scrawling different ideas for magic. And let me look.
On that same kind of topic, though, Jonny, is it possible for Kira to do... I want her to kind of check in with Ember and possibly use Not Quite Myself
Okay.
as a move.
Say more things.
I think inside of her mind, Kira is like, well, that was pretty impressive what we just did back there. You know, with the whole, like, jaws of the earth and everything.
I suppose.
Does this power have any limits, really? Is there something we could do that might help with this mind knife thing?
Precision is not one of my favorite things.
Maybe not a favorite thing, but it could be done. Power certainly is one of your things.
Certainly.
May I roll?
So you're trying to do that thing where you sort of access her
knowledge and like her mind, kind of, because I'm kind of specifically wondering if there's any resources that the altar has access to that could help here.
I see. Why don't you roll it?
Okay, so I rolled a 10, and that means that I have 2 holds, and the altar has something useful to offer. So I definitely think I want to use the hold to see what resources does this altar have that could help here.
And the hearing question that you're trying to help with is the regicide spell.
Yeah, like the mind knife whole idea.
Yeah, it would have to be sort of like, I think she could use, you could basically use your power. Oh, this is actually kind of nice.
This game is smarter than me.
Yeah, what you would be doing, this game is smarter than me. What you would be doing is kind of taking the mind of, it would have to be one of the PCs. It would have to be one of you.
Mm-hmm.
And you would like use her fire to temporarily smith that identity pound it into a blade. So you could use her fire to melt down and temper one of your minds into a knife.
Not scary at all.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I think Kira, is kind of contemplating that, and she's like, we could temper the mind. That's interesting. Second question. Okay, let's do the secret one.
So what secret does Ember know about the situation that you don't? Well, I think this makes sense. If the kingdom is to survive, the will being placed into the obsidian, the shard of gatestone, it can only be housed there temporarily. I'm going to say it's like 1 hour.
The will can only be in the gatestone for an hour?
If it's not then attached to a living power strong enough to support the kingdom, within 1 hour, the kingdom will die anyway.
And that kingdom would be like the Sky King, the Star Kingdom.
Whichever one you do this on. If you take the will, if you separate the will from the king, put it in the gatestone, and then it doesn't find its way into a powerful enough living host, within 1 hour, the kingdom will die anyway.
But potentially that will could, it sounds like that will could be transferable. So if we did that And if we had like Thugamon, we could transplant it into Thugamon potentially, and then we could rebuild the kingdom.
And you're specifically talking about the Sea Kingdom, though.
Well, whatever kingdom he wants. Like, if he wants another sea kingdom, we could probably rebuild it or something. Because, I mean, that's kind of what we had talked to him about, is that it wouldn't be the same kingdom.
Mhm.
It would be
His own
kingdom. So whatever he would want to make of it, essentially.
Don't give me that look, Jonny. Fuck off.
Something tells me you don't like that plan, Miah. That's an idea. I mean, that's what we need to do, though, to like have to get the sea kingdom back or get a kingdom back. Like, we need, correct me if I'm wrong, but we need a will and like extreme power to then like merge them together to then create that kingdom, right, Jonny? I think that's how you had kind of described it. Like, you need, I'm trying to find my notes, immense power and a great will, and then you crown a king. That's how you rebuild the kingdom. We'd have the components basically to do it then. Jesus, Miah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, I'm on board. I like this plan.
Well, you know that I want to save the Star King.
Well, it's not killing the Star King, it's saving the kingdoms.
Yeah. Shut up. Oh, I think I found what I was looking for in my notebook.
Great.
That was a journey.
So you know how like I had said that I had like 2 ideas. Turns out I had 3. One of them could be, I was thinking of somehow jumping around. Like, it's kind of similar to that blink spell, if you know Dungeons and Dragons.
Or the character Blink from before.
Or I thought about playing with this spell that kind of clones me, so it can maybe be a distraction. Or I like to call it memory jump, where I kind of infiltrate somebody's mind and bring up a memory, but like I'm there, and just kind of a distraction. I was trying to find a way to distract a target. Not sure if any of those would help in the coming war, battle, encounter.
I mean, I'm sure they'd be useful in some way. Clones are always handy. And the mind, what was it? What was the second one called?
I call it my memory jump. Just kind of infiltrating OOC. If you think about what's her face in Low-Key did, where she put herself in the memory of her like target and was like having a conversation, but the target doesn't realize that like it's a fake memory.
Yeah, it's like a enchantment or whatever. Or I think is what she called it. Yeah. Okay. I mean, yeah, that'd probably distract.
I haven't really landed on which one I
want to like asking us in character which one you should take. Why just choose?
He was just putting it out there, like, hey, maybe this would help. But
okay.
I'm just waiting for like the right moment.
Yeah.
The moment to push me to decide.
Okay. Kira is doing her like dissociated look where she's like definitely like talking to somebody in her head at the moment. And then she kind of like blinks and is like, so I have an idea of how we could do this mind knife thing. With Ember's and I's powers, we could essentially temper somebody's mind, turn it into a knife.
Yikes.
Yep. Definitely has its drawbacks, but if done carefully, that's probably one of our best ways to do it. Question is, whose mind do we use? If that's the route we want to go. Anna's like, well, not mine. I'm not very sharp.
So, Kira, you know how I stand with what I want to do about the Star King. I mean, I hope to save him. Would you call this mind knife the last resort, or the way that we get him to...
I think that's the way we get to him, honestly. This would separate it from his will. It wouldn't kill him, but it would make him unable to... He wouldn't have the power that he would need to bring about the end like he wants.
It could kill him.
It could kill him?
Yeah. Like it's you're like excising a part of his
Okay.
mind and identity. If done carefully and well enough, it won't kill him, but it could.
So then, if in that case, Kira would say something different then if she knew that. She would say, look, I'm not going to lie to you. There's a chance that it could kill him. But if it's done carefully, then I think he would be okay. He would survive. How else would we fight against him, Theo? Trying to talk to him?
I've been asking myself that for the past couple of days. I get it. He wants the story to end. I think we've all been in that kind of position.
I've never wanted to mass murder everybody, just for the record, Anna says.
Not my point. But, okay, so we turn somebody's mind into a knife. Does that entail, like, that person has to, like, interact with them? Or, like, how do they do that? Like, do they need a distraction? Like, okay, that's step 1. What's step 2 and 3?
Yeah, we would have to keep him occupied somehow, realistically. And then when he's distracted, we go in and we make the incision. So, I mean, if you have some stuff that could cause the distraction, keep him disoriented, that might be our best bet.
Yeah. Kira or Mark can do it. Be the knife.
Theo, will you roll plus sharp, please?
12. If it matters, both of those moves in there are advanced.
Okay. So you thought for a little while that your vision was just like blurry because you kind of just woke up from something and you were in a circle that futzed with your mind and you're focused, so you thought it was just kind of unfocused. But now you can kind of see that, like, depending on how much you focus and where you put your vision, you're sort of seeing this place as it used to be. And since that move is a little bit advanced, what you are beginning to understand is that you now have general access to see the past.
Cool.
With practice, you could hone in on specific dates and or times, but perfect accuracy on the level of what the Star King can see in the future.
Okay. If you'll let me, Kira and Anna and Mark, I'd like to be the distraction.
Yeah, I think we can probably help you with the distraction too, says Anna.
Same.
I'm really annoying when I want to be.
No,
it's true.
No, it's true, Ramsey says.
Anna, like, hits them kind of, like, just a little bit, like, in the chest. Just like,
It's like a superpower.
thank you.
It's good that you own it.
Yeah.
Because otherwise you'd just be a pain in the ass.
Okay.
Hey!
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the intermission, where things are calm, things are not scary, and everyone is just fine. I'm all by myself today, but that's okay, because I've got some announcements to share with you all. First of all, we have a couple of exciting things coming up for our patrons. We've got a double dose of content that's going to be coming your way on August 6th. We've got another episode of our Dockers' Highlights, which is our exclusive bloopers. And then we also have a brand new episode of our House of Greaves bonus series. And things are really heating up over there, so you want to definitely listen to that one. And then, as usual, our next episode of The Cover Story will be available in 2 weeks from now on August 13th. Also, another fun little announcement for all of you. Miah and I are going to be hitting the road this week and are headed to Gen Con. So we might be a little quieter this week on Discord, but rest assured we are doing fun things and we'll probably be documenting our time on Instagram. So, check in on there if you want to see what we're up to. But I'm actually going to be speaking at one of the event seminars called World Building the Real World, along with our friends Natalie from the Storyteller Squad and Ian from Shrimp and Crits, as well as Jeremy Cobb from Three Black Halflings. And we're going to be talking about how to make mundane settings feel just as magical as any classic high fantasy setting. So it's going to be a lot of fun, and there will be a lot of good, fun tips and tricks to be sharing over there. So if you happen to be headed to Gen Con, I'd love to see you there, and I can't wait to see what it's like. I've never been to a con, so I'm definitely looking forward to it. All right, announcements out of the way, but I do want to leave you all with a few reminders. If you'd like to support our show, there are a couple of great ways that you can do that. First and foremost, you could always leave us a rating and review. If you haven't done that already, go to your Apple Podcast, your Spotify, whatever your listening platform of choice is, and, give us that rating, give us a review. It really does mean a lot. We read every review that we get, and I can't tell you enough how much it means to know that you guys are listening and enjoying. And be sure to tell your friends about us, because if they're enjoying other shows that you like, why don't you just tell them about ours? And that's one of the best ways to get our show noticed. You can also follow us on social media. We are on Twitter at Monster Playbook and everywhere else at Monsters Playbook. So if you want to follow us over there, see what we're up to, connect with us, that is a great thing to do as well. You can also support us monetarily. If you're able to, you can subscribe to us on our Patreon for some exclusive episodes, potentially some fun bonus swag, as well as those bloopers that I mentioned before. And we also have a merch store and a Ko-fi page. If you can't subscribe, that's okay. We have lots of other fun ways that you can support us, and everything that you guys are able to, to give, we really, really appreciate. And then if you want to just hang out and have a chill, fun place to talk every week, our Discord is a great place. We have listening parties. We sometimes play games. We talk about our game, other games. We give each other recommendations, share, pictures of our pets, all sorts of things. So if you want to join us over there, a link to that and so many other things, all the things that I mentioned in this episode, can be found in our Direct Me profile, which is in this episode's show notes. Our promo for this week is for Portal Quandary, a Dungeons & Dragons podcast about 4 strangers who find themselves stuck in a mystical land far away. The party must explore this alien land and figure out a way to return home. Let's take a listen.
How do you fix a quandary? There's only one solution. Portal Quandary is a Dungeons & Dragons real play comedy, dramedy podcast about a party of mismatched heroes trying to do just that. Join Dungeon Master Tyrone Cross as he hurls our Melbourne-based party into a mystical world full of strange creatures, stranger people, and strangest of all, unanticipated self-discovery. Gross. Listen to Portal Quandary now on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts from. Episodes released tri-weekly.
You can learn more about Portal Quandary on their link in bio page, which we've linked in our episode's show notes. And be sure to listen to them wherever you get your podcast. All right, with that, let's get back to the episode. It'll be fine, guys. It's going to be fine. Bye.
So we have the mind knife. We have step 1. What about... I guess this would be technically step 1, because there's not really a step 0, but the whole reason that we got this eye, and Theo points to her left eye, was to look.
Yes, it is.
Remind me, were you wanting to look into the future or the past? I'm guessing the past.
Everything.
Everything, yeah.
I think we kind of wanted to get a sense of what the Star King was planning, like what other things that he has, if anything, in motion that we need to be worried about. If there's specific things you're wondering about.
Because as we sit here, my vision's blurry, but it's focusing. Like, I can kind of see what the Sea Kingdom once was. And Mark's kind of sitting in what used to be a rock, which makes sense. There are kind of 2 particular moments that I'm thinking about that I may want to look back on, but I don't want that to distract from what we need to do. I can try and look to the future or the present, though it might be hard.
Let's get somewhere safe maybe, and then let's try that.
Yeah. Out of character. How is Anna and Kira looking harm-wise?
Well, Kira heals up an extra harm because of her resilience, so she's no harm.
I think throughout this conversation, you will all, I think, heal an additional 1 harm.
Okay. So then Anna has 1 harm, And yeah, Kira's got nothing.
Yeah, Theo is fine as well. Mark, how are you? Are you fine?
1 harm, which actually I would have tried to heal after coming out.
Well, we've also been here a while, so you would, in total, have healed 2 harm since Anna had started.
Then I'll be good.
Okay. How is Lincoln, Ramsey, Lincoln, and Donovan?
Yeah, because Donovan got scolded.
Donovan's armor is going to take some time to be 100% no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And Ramsey seems fine.
What the fuck is going on with Ramsey Lincoln? Anna is gonna use her spirit touch thing to try to see if she can sense something going on there. If she can, please.
Is that a roll or is that just you open
It's a
your
spirit.
eyes?
It's just I have to roll.
Okay, roll it.
What are you up to, boss? 8. So in that case, so on a 7 to 9, you can either sense them fully, but they notice you too, or you sense only impressions. I want to sense them fully.
Both Lincoln and Ramsey are illusions.
Illusions? Not actually here?
Not actually human.
Okay.
As projected by a sort of, it does say sense fully. And I'm shocked that you haven't done this before.
I feel like I've tried maybe once before, or I'd asked, but you didn't tell me.
Yeah. I think because they are weakened and because you are there, you can see it a little bit more clearly. And you sort of reach out and you see Ramsey kind of look at you, knowing that you are looking in the way that you are looking, and sort of being like, come on. Almost like the look she's giving you is like it's not polite to stare.
Uh-huh.
Do you keep looking anyway?
I'm so torn. Well, Anna had asked, like, what's your deal? Like, before they left for there. Ramsey was sort of like, maybe I'll tell you if we survive. I think she might just cross her arms. I think she's going to look a little deeper.
Okay. This entity is almost precisely as old as humanity and is a kind of fundamental shard of the forces of magic. Yeah, being a person never fully seemed to fit them. Yeah.
Okay. I think, like, when she kind of, like, sees them for what they actually are, she kind of, like, blinks and is like, whoa.
I think the last thing, given that you kept looking and that you decided to sense them fully, their true name is Glide.
Oh, okay. Yeah, and I think Anna kind of, like, just, like, blinks, shakes her head. Whoa. And I think she, like, instantly feels bad and is just like, I'm sorry.
Ramsey, like, nods inscrutably. So, I think Tommy will kind of look back and forth between everybody, be like, are we done here?
Yeah, yes,
Yep.
says
Mark wipes his
Kira.
hands.
I suggest maybe we go back to that cave to regroup and figure out Theo's eye thing. Maybe do the spell for the mind blade thing?
Why not?
Ah!
You can see the end of the light. I don't like it.
Oh.
Yeah, let's go back to the cave.
Yeah, okay.
2 questions, Johnny. Would this be counting like the end of the mystery at all?
Why?
Because I have 1 hold for Stars Align, and I was going to ask, one of the things that I can use that hold is to stabilize a wound. Would that help at all to Donovan's arm? Or Ramsey?
That would help Donovan's arm. I think the mystery will end properly when you exit there.
Okay.
Oh, so we're expected to leave before coming back, or are we just, are we here till the end?
Well, I mean, you're in the sea, you can go somewhere else. When you leave the Dead Sea, the deep end, the
Okay.
title of this arc, this mystery will end and the next one will begin.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I'm going to have you guys sort of be heading
Can
back.
we ask the Charming Ocean for a ride?
Oh, yeah. Could be.
Is his like coach, is it actually functioning or is it damaged?
Oh, it's damaged, but what he's been doing is he actually tore off one of the doors with his bare hands, has been kind of splitting it into spoke-sized poles and fixing the busted spokes in all of his wheels. And so one of the doors is missing, but the coach is functional. So you can all climb inside. He'll look at you and you will instinctively expect him to roll his eyes at you, but he won't. He'll just climb up to his seat and take the position as though he's gathering the reins of horses, which of course he isn't. And then off you will roll back towards Thugamon's cave. I think in the intervening time, he has put on more clothes, but not all of the clothes. So he is now just wearing a pair of tight-fitting pants. He was just in underpants.
He was in like whitey tighties.
He's got himself a little bit together, so his legs are covered, but his impractically large arms and shoulders are still glistening nude in the darkness.
Great. I love those descriptions, all of that.
I'm sure you do. So you guys are back in the relative safety of Thugamon's cave.
Oh, well, that was an adventure.
We're back, says Anna as they walk in. How's everybody doing here?
We just walk in like we own the place.
Hey, I mean, we're here to get this guy a kingdom back. He should be liking us.
Yeah, Gail will sort of like pour a number of cups of tea for you guys. She has a little rough-hewn pot that's been sitting over a magically induced fire. She'll pour some tea for you guys, and when you say, how's everybody doing? She'll say, better. And
Can I roll investigate a mystery?
Set a table. Sure.
9.
Can I assume that you don't trust any tea?
Yeah. Is this tea okay?
It's probably not very good, and it will probably be gritty because it is almost certainly being made with the plants and herbs that are being grown in the potted plants and planters around this cave. It's not magical, though.
Okay.
It just sucks.
It's just kind of vague.
The best they can do.
Yeah, I'm still not touching it.
I learned in junior high that you can take the plant stinging nettles and boil them down and make a nice tea and also eat them.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like that, where it'll just taste like plant water.
Yeah, still not. Hard pass.
Rude.
Anna will take some
Surprising.
to be polite, and we'll drink some, and it's just like, oh, thank you so much.
What was that noise that just came out of your face?
adore you.
That was the disgusted face and the voice that she uses after she drinks the tea. Oh, thank you very much.
Ramsey will drink deep.
Mhm.
Tommy will pretend to sip. Lowry doesn't understand what the problem is. This tastes great to him.
Oh.
I think Mark's going to walk over and just kind of
What?
really quickly take a sip.
Oh.
It's like a shot.
He just like,
Okay.
Oh my god.
I don't. Looked like you were doing a different motion for a second, and I was like, what? What is he doing?
Feel free not to elaborate. Yeah, Mark, this kind of just tastes like, honestly, this brings back fond memories of the time you used to spend alone when you were a boy. It tastes like nature, leaves, the out of doors, solitude.
Mark is just staring off into space.
Kira will take some too, and she'll just be like, thank you, Gail. I bet Theo's feeling weird now. Everybody pretty much had some except
I
for
know,
her.
it's fine. It's whatever. I got other things on my mind.
Anyway.
It pleases me to imagine the following, that the hulking princeling is also seated, not at the table, but at a chair in the corner, also with a full glass of tea, also looking at Theo like, thank you, like with a look that's like sort of grateful for you getting it. And he like looks at you, eyes wide, looks over at one of the plants, splashes his cup into the plant.
I was about to have Anna do the same thing, but I think she just stopped drinking it. Kira would sort of fill them in on what just happened and explain. So that thing that's been chasing people around that are living here, we were able to lead it away to the hallway. It shouldn't be coming back, but that's only part one of a very long list of things that we still need to figure out. But, and I think she kind of looks like between Gail and Thugamon and is like, it's at least safer for you guys to be here now.
They'll reach out their hands to each other and clasp hands and look at you, and Gail will say, well, thank you then.
Yeah.
What will you do now?
Well, the next step, I think, is protecting this place from what the Star King is trying to do. There's a spell that we can do based on what you were telling us about what happened to your father. I think we might be able to do something similar. And then, if we have a will to wield of our own, we could basically elect you as a king. That is, if you want it.
I think I'm going to let your previous conversation with him more or less ride.
He's bought in.
I mean, he's nervous about it, but he'll do his best.
Nerves just mean that you care. That's a good thing. If you didn't care, if you weren't nervous, I'd be concerned. It's a big undertaking.
There hasn't been a Sea Kingdom in so long. The way I was never properly prepared to take my father's place, that wasn't our way.
Are you prepared now?
Well, someone has to. He's gone now.
Kira kind of looks between Theo and Thugaman. I know it's not the same thing, like, at all, but I understand what it's like to suddenly be responsible for something. To be honest, you'll never really quite know if you're doing it right, or if you said the wrong thing, or if the people following you believe in you half the time. As long as you've got people next to you. I think she looks at Gale and fucking Princeling.
They'll look at each other.
Yeah. As long as you have people next to you to keep you on the right path, it gets a little easier. But that being said, there's still the matter of actually getting it to happen. We might need to do a little spell. And Theo, I think you wanted to try a little something.
Yep. Well, Theo was going to ask, do you have a private room that I could borrow?
She'll look at the princeling, who will, raise his eyebrows petulantly. Roll manipulate someone.
8.
Yeah, okay, you can have the boys' room.
Is it clean? Okay. Much appreciated.
This is not her saying, but it is cleaner than Thugamon's room.
Okay.
She will sort of stop you as you head in, though, to say something privately to you, Theo, if you'll allow her.
Okay. I mean, she's letting me borrow a room in her home.
So Gale is going to show Theo into the princeling's room, which does have a door, but not a lock, that she can be in privately to do whatever it is she wants to do. And as she's showing you, Gale will put a hand on your shoulder, matronly, and say, "The young king carries his father's legacy, but you have his father's eyes. And I know that will weigh as heavily on you as his burden does on him. You walk with the gods now, girl. Stand tall."
No pressure. Kira, would you mind assisting me?
Yeah, sure.
Sort of thought you needed to be alone, but
Yeah, Kira kind of looks around and she's like, yeah, sure.
oh, big sis.
Walks into the room with Theo.
What's Mark doing?
I was going to say, before Theo goes into that room, I think as she's passing Mark, she will give Mark a kiss on the cheek. I'll be back. Hopefully you won't have to come diving into my mindscape again for the 10th time.
Oh, don't worry. I'll be ready. I think Mark laughs it off.
All right. The password is Rock's Rule.
I think Mark is just still sipping his tea, and he just, as you walk by, he was just kind of still looking out the window. And you said that, and he's looks at you. Okay.
Rock's Rule with an X.
The S is the $sign.
And the E in rule is the letter, the number 3.
Yeah. While this is all happening, Anna, she doesn't know what Theo and Kira are doing, but I think sees Mark and is like, "I spy something with my eye."
Love it.
And it's they're just going to be doing that for a bit. Unless there's something specific you wanted to do, John. But
I think Mark is still reminiscing about the tea that he got.
Aw.
He's like, I'm having, what do they call it? Memories?
And the princeling will play I Spy with you.
Aww.
He sucks at it.
Okay.
Oh, wait, were you asking Mark to play I Spy?
Anna's playing with whoever will play with her, but she's
The princeling will play!
But
Mark's in his own world.
But specifically, she had to ask Clayton, and then Clayton was like, "No." So then, she's playing with Princeling, and she's like, "Okay, Princeling, we have to teach you how to play this game a little bit better." That's what she's preoccupied with.
I see you.
Good job. That's not the answer, though. Anyway, what does Theo want?
Well, I guess I didn't know if everybody else had a specific idea on what they wanted me to look at, but I had 2 ideas, and I thought that it'd be a little bit crowding and felt more like an animal in a cage if I just did it out there in front of everybody. But then I feel like if I did it alone, it would be nerve-wracking. You can say no if you want. Like, I can do it alone, or I guess in front of everybody.
No, I think Kira will like kind of like reach out and be like, "No, I'm here."
Okay. You can tell me if you think that maybe I should look at something else, but I was kind of thinking about maybe I could look back and see the moment that the Sea King's will was severed. Maybe that can give us an idea of what to expect.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea.
Johnny, question for you.
Mm-hmm.
Would I be able to bring Kira with me on this vision
quest.
Yeah.
If you roll well.
Okay.
Why'd you say that?
Just roll well. Does she get a bonus or anything because of that? Did you say that? Was it like a +1 or something? Or
So observing a place is one of my...
But does she get an additional bonus because now she's got this eye?
No, I've got 2.
So here's the thing.
Yes.
With this eye, the bonus that you will get is now to observe a place or time in the past. You just don't have to roll.
Oh yeah, so you can just do it, no problem. It's just the question of bringing Kira along.
If you want to bring Kira along,
that's a separate thing.
You will roll use magic as normal.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, I think I'll try that on this first one.
Okay.
I know it's not exactly the same thing, but when I do my little like shadow vision thing, I kind of like to I sort of imagine that I'm in a void, and then the things start to creep in from the sides. But if you can zone out and hone your mind, that might help.
No offense, but that sounds kind of scary.
It is a little. I mean, I
guess I can see what you're like saying, like kind of block everything out, like just kind of like a horse with blinders.
Right. For me, how it works, I mean, these things that we're trying to see, they're slightly beyond our reach. So it's almost like tunnel vision, and it just kind of slowly things come to a focus.
Mm-hmm.
But you can train your mind to do it, and I've seen you do this before. I know you can.
It's not that bad. Okay, Theo is going to like drop her drawstring bag on the ground, and she's going to sit and like gesture for Kira to sit with her across from her. She is going to cut her right ring finger and smear that blood on her eyelids. And in Greek, she will start chanting, "This blood is my blood. I see what I see. I look to the past and let my third eye seek the life that came before." And I rolled a 9. No, I lied. I rolled an 11. I rolled it like 5 minutes ago, okay? No, I lied again. It's a 12.
Oh my fucking god.
Oh my god, man.
This close to just making you fucking re-roll.
I forgot that I got an additional +1, okay? It's a 12.
I can do things, okay?
No, you don't have an additional +1.
Oh, yeah, you're
The
right.
reason you are rolling is to bring Kira along with you.
Okay,
So it's an 11.
Okay. And you are going back to see the moment the Sea King separated himself. So Kira, as though someone has wrapped a rope around your chest and pulled on it, you are yanked down this passageway that you hadn't seen before. Pulls you past all the things that you can see into, for whatever reason, I'm viewing it as a hexagonal passageway that you're passing through, and you just are going through it, and then you find yourselves, it's sort of unmistakably like Atlantean. You're in a kind of side throne room, and it's all got sort of Art Nouveau kind of curves, very organic seeming shapes, built largely out of sandstone and coral, sort of floating embers in the air. And it's all very warm because outside of this place, you are aware the kingdom is burning. And in this room has been summoned, you can see, looking much more filled out than you had seen him before, and with much less of a beard and long hair, is Andragoras, what Roger Sand must have been 150 pounds of muscle ago. And he is summoned into what you now understand to be his chambers, someone who looks like Thugamon but is not Thugamon, and also someone who is fully draped in like robes that appear to be either made of or modeled after kelp leaves. And this person has an open book in their hands that they are just holding as though they are a bookstand. Theo, you can tell sort of with 100% dream logic certainty that this is one of the court mages. And basically what you then observe is the end of a brief argument that Andragoras soundly wins by virtue of his authority. The not quite Thugamon person goes down to one knee. The person in the robes speaks some degree of incantation and actually has to, I think a pair of other people come in to like adorn the young prince with herbed oils, which then appear as they do their work to not be so much oil as like acid, and do actually melt him down into a kind of liquid metal that is then formed into a blade, which is then taken up by the robed figure, who very carefully and surgically applies it to the base of Andragoras' skull and drags sharply down, and then spins back up at like a 45-degree angle and then up and to the right. I don't know the names of, like a gem cut hunk of obsidian then begins to glow a dark blue green, and Andragoras drops to his knees and clutches the back of his neck in pain, and the robed figure places the knife on a draped table, picks up the jewel, hands it off to another robed figure. You know what to do with this.
Kind of a clarifying question. The heart of Andragoras that Theo had sensed under when we encountered him in that whole battle scene thing, is that this same obsidian?
Yes.
Okay.
Is there any way to retrieve that heart, do we think?
I mean, it's buried underground.
Yeah, maybe.
When not in a fight, we could maybe, or somebody who has great will could maybe get it, like Thugamon maybe. Okay, I think that possibly what Theo sees and what Kira sees goes like becomes a landscape of like white mist. Like, you know, when you're driving super early in the morning and the air is warming up, but the earth is still cold, and you know, over the lakes you see the steam. I think we're in a kind of a mindscape like that. And I don't know if like Theo would see Kira and vice versa, but I think at the very least Kira would hear also outside in like the real world Theo say, I have one more thing I want to look on, but I want to do it alone.
Okay. Do you still want me to sit here?
You can wait if you want to.
Okay.
Just want to look at one more thing.
Okay. Well, I'll be right here.
What thing?
I'm wondering if I can do this, but can I look at the moment that the Star King was the most happy?
I'm gonna have you roll plus weird.
Okay. Do I get to add up my +1 for practitioner?
No, because this isn't a place or time. It's an attitude.
Okay.
Okay.
So I rolled a 6.
Okay.
But I want to use my last star align hold to take plus. Can I do take +1 ongoing? That doesn't apply to this, does it?
Is it +1 ongoing or +1 forward?
So it says take +1 going forward. So what are you ruling?
You can add +1 to this.
Jonny, it's a 7.
Perfect. You see the Star King walking through a room very similar to the room you just saw with that little ritual, but slightly more opulent, but now totally dark. No sun shines outside, no people walking around, no attendants fussing. And you see the Star King walking, his hands grasped behind him, stepping very casually, taking in everything as it is and as it will remain forever. And you hear him take a great, satisfied inhale and let out a deeply contented exhale. This, he thinks, is finally perfect.
I think Kira sees the closed-eyed Theo, just some like quiet rolling tears down her cheek.
Yeah, Kira, like, kind of just like, I think she's been holding your hand like the whole time.
Yeah.
and just like squeezes your hand.
And I think that Theo takes a deep inhale and then exhale as she leaves the vision, and with the back of her hand rubs the blood away from her eyes and opens them and looks at Kira with the now silvery gray pair of eyes.
What'd you see?
The happiest that the Star King ever was.
And?
It was when the Sea King died. It was when the Sea Kingdom died.
Oh. Not very reassuring.
Hopeless, to say the least.
What do you want to do about it?
Our plan is already in motion. We can't let him end everything.
We won't. If we can remove him from this, what he views as an obligation, maybe he will have a change of heart. And if not, at least he won't have the power to really do much. I'm sorry, Theo.
Me too. The others are waiting.
I think Kira kind of just like puts a hand on Theo's shoulder and just kind of like pulls her in for like a hug. And just kind of holds it there for a second.
I think Theo's kind of limp in your arms. Pretty numb. Pretty... I don't think that hopeless is the right word, because, like, we know what we need to do, but I guess disheartened.
Yeah.
Is probably the better phrase.
Disillusioned.
Like, I think, like, when Kira and Theo, like, get up, Theo's gathering, like, up whatever thing she had taken out. I don't know what the role would be. Is it investigative mystery, Jonny? If, like, for Kira to suss out something, a vibe with Theo?
Read a bad situation.
You want Kira to roll to intuit your vibe? Kira,
Yeah, I
roll
want a
vibe
vibe check.
Let's do it like this. Theo, are you trying to hide this?
I don't know if Theo is even like present enough to hide it.
Capable?
Yeah.
Yeah, she's unaware of it.
Kira, roll read a bad situation.
11.
She can read you like a book.
Mm-hmm. Although Theo is disheartened and disillusioned, I don't know, like, where it would come across. Maybe in this strange, like, maybe a moment of, like, determination. Like, maybe a moment when Theo puts something in her bag and kind of, like, puts her bag on her shoulders and just, like, appears to, like, set her mind to something. But, like, there's, like, a grain of sand of some hope, some wishing.
Mm-hmm.
So it didn't all evaporate, but...
Let's go talk to the others.
How's I Spy going?
No, Princeling. Oh my God.
Ceiling.
How many times do I have to tell you?
I'm
No,
on ceiling.
you can't just name random things. It's associated with the color. Can you see color?
I touched the ceiling.
Ooh,
You're doing great,
can
Anna.
Theo, because I'm guessing when we were like leaving, you guys started it, and when we were walking back in, you're still doing it. Seeing Hannah frustrated with the princeling, Theo kind of goes like, I spy something wet.
Cave.
Gale's plants?
No.
I can see the cave.
Tea.
Okay, Anna, I get why you're frustrated. Never mind.
I kind of imagine that like they were playing this game and Anna said something and like the princeling actually guessed at one point, but it was literally just like pure like probability. Like eventually he was gonna get something. And she's like, yes! Oh no, you're just guessing. Fuck.
Yes. Shelf. Chair. Table.
No.
Cave.
We were so close.
Father.
So close. Father.
Oh, I still dislike him, but this makes me dislike him a little bit less. Just a little bit. Just
Okay.
a breath of air less.
Okay, we're gonna stop naming things now, Princeling. Okay? Okay, good.
Anna.
Yes. Nice to meet you, Princeling. Oh, cute. Okay.
I spy Anna.
Aw. Anna pats the princeling on like his. Is he like made of metal? I can't remember. Like, or he's like a golem, right?
Kind of basically.
Okay.
Yeah, he's like, I mean, here he's sort of taking on a bit more organic
Sure.
situation.
There's like some coral like growing out of like.
Honestly, probably.
Yeah, kind of like Pirates of the Caribbean, like the weird ones from like Davy Jones's ship.
Yeah, like barnacles and such. I think, but it's like, it's kind of, he's sort of taking aspects of his father into himself.
Oh, I think Kira or Anna like pats him on like his shoulder, chest, arm, but is like, I don't even know what it would sound like, look like. So she's just kind of like, it's a lot softer than I was imagining. Gross. And she's like, okay, I instantly regret that. And then she like splashes her hand out.
Wipes it on Donovan.
Yeah. Honestly, probably. Anyway, so we get back.
Uh-huh.
And Kira actually has an idea, or a question more like. That like chunk of obsidian that was driven into the earth, that was like his will, right? And Dragoris's will?
That was the end of the regicide ritual.
Is it still active?
I mean, Theo felt it.
What do you mean by active?
Could it be transplanted?
I think it would be a much harder sell, for lack of a better term, to put that, because you recall the 1 hour time limit.
Yes.
It would require a good deal more power to transfer that to somebody, and then you would have to do something else to also bring the kingdom back to life.
Can I ask? I don't mind if Theo asks this to Thugamon, or maybe even Lowry, but has a kingdom ever died before and then been brought back?
Lowry will answer easily. No.
Making history, folks.
First is great.
Indeed you are. Shaping the world before you.
Next, Kira will say, because what I'm wondering is, the way I see it, we have two options to get this guy a will put in his mind. Either we grab his father's, resurrect it from the ground, probably will be a great deal harder, or we get it from the Star King. Honestly, they both have their own challenges. I mean, first one is hard just by the nature of where the very will itself has almost died. It's buried in the ground. The problem with Star King is we would have to fight him in order to actually get it, which is its own problem.
Donovan will say, you'll have to deal with the Star King either way.
Right. And would it be better to deal with the Star King with another king on our side already?
Well, isn't Ro technically supposed to be on our side?
Yeah, she is.
And does Ember have the capability to reignite the Sea King's will?
Does she, Johnny?
Potentially.
What would I need to do that?
Based on what's been happening so far, the Twin Flames spell that had been cast previously is wearing off.
Okay.
And so the contact that you currently have and have had with Ember is fading. But theoretically, the fact that her power is not necessarily pure destruction, but more change agent.
Transformative.
It could be redirected. It would require that spell and convincing.
So I would need to redo the Twin Flame spell to tap into Ember's powers again.
Yes.
Okay, so we might need to go back home if that's the case. Then I think Kira will say, yeah, I think I can do what we need to do. Ember would have the power to do this. We would have the power to do this, but she's kind of fading, or the spell is temporary. So if we needed to do it, we would need to re-up the charge, essentially. Do we head back?
I mean, the options are to somehow reignite the Sea King's will or take down the Star King.
Out of character. I kind of personally think I want to reinstate the Sea Kingdom first before taking on the Star King.
Yeah, I agree. Out of character.
To see his reaction or what?
To have more power on our
To
side.
have another ally.
That's fair.
Because also the other thing is that, like, if Ro is only in place and, like, the Sea Kingdom is dead, and then we kill, and then I guess hopefully we would reinstate, like, a new Star King, but, like, the chance of, like, only having one king present to hold up the wall.
Yeah.
Question.
Also, what if Ro falls?
Yeah.
Do we know what Ro feels like about the Sea Kingdom?
We haven't really talked to her about this at all yet, so it might be worth it to make sure she's on our side.
Because honestly, if she's not on our side and this thing goes through, that's not something that we've, like, thought about yet.
That's the other thing I thought about, like, asking Mark, like, hey, can we have a little, like,
powwow
conference?
Can
with
you
Ro?
patch her in?
We're rising
we,
another
like,
kingdom. Just
Sky...
I don't think Ro is totally like in the dark though, because Kira had asked her, where might I find like Endragoras when she had been brought. So I think she has some intimations that something is going on. But she doesn't have all the pieces yet. So I think we might want to let her know.
Probably. I think we need to go back first and then...
Let's actually, honestly, maybe go to the Sky Kingdom, because then we can leave and not go back into Rex Crook's office.
That's fair.
On our way out.
Rex Crook, I wonder what he's up to.
Being a dick. So that'd be my vote. We head to the gateway back to the Sea Kingdom, see if we can entreat with Ro, and then recoup, do the spell, come back, and reinstate the Sea Kingdom.
Can I propose a different version of that same plan?
Yes.
Could Mark talk to Ro and be like, "Hey, can we come over and maybe she could teleport us all over to the Sky Kingdom?"
I mean, maybe if you could reach out to her here, then sure.
Yeah, Mark, do you think you could get some favor with your king?
Sure. Mark walks over to the window, takes another sip of his tea. Ring, 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 ring.
Oh my god.
Oh my
Mark, roll manipulate someone.
10.
The sound that you hear in your mind,
I just remembered we heard a battle in the distance earlier.
She gets a cell phone call.
it sounds like a very busy office. People are running around.
Ro?
Cormac, can you be quick?
Yes, well, kind of. We want to bring the Sea Kingdom back.
Okay.
And we have the means to do it. Want to know your thoughts. If this needs to wait for a moment, that's fine. Just let me know.
As it happens, it does need to wait. Something of a crisis going on in the sky.
Do you need help?
It's the riders, Mark. They're missing.
Oh no.
Wait, they're missing?
Uh-huh.
Is that a good thing?
It could be?
What's the cause for alarm? Just they've never gone missing before?
They're not supposed to not be here, Mark.
I see.
Either someone's killed them, which is concerning, or someone's taken them, which is worse.
We can look into it. Do you guys have any leads on anything, or did this just happen?
Instead of answering you, she answers somebody else. 16, maybe 17. Well, yes, with him. Including the, yes. Sorry, what?
16 and 17 what?
No, that wasn't for you. What did you say? You said it now. Was it now or was, which one's now?
It was now.
Solve your problems or solve mine, Mark.
We'll look into that. All right, bye.
Who's missing? Is Rob missing?
No.
Who did you talk to?
I just talked to Ro. She's a little frantic right now. The riders have gone missing, apparently. You know, the ones that chased us before?
Yeah. I think I can look and find them.
Well, she said they've never gone missing, and she's worried that someone has taken them, or she's like, it could be a good thing, but I mean, it might not be, and it's concerning.
Well, let me look. I could give the present a spin.
Well, I think I can reach out too and see if I could maybe... Do you want to help?
Well, let's see who gets there first.
All right.
The present will be tough, Theo, but you could look into the very recent past.
Like when they went missing.
Fuck, I rolled a 7.
I'll look to when they went missing.
Okay. So Mark has one question from that list. Theo, you can see an hour or so ago, the riders were riding on their merry, violent way when something sparkly caught their attention. It turned out to be a glittery hole in the sky that led to somewhere else. And they saw treasure and adventure and a battle worth singing songs about. And so out they rode. And out they rode into a familiar street.
Oh, fuck.
And for the first time in many days, their horses' hooves actually made contact with the ground. And they looked about, mystified, some excited by having seen so many sights they hadn't seen before. And as one, they turned to look at the storefront of the Clockwork Child.
Uh-oh.
Oh, no.
Executive producer Jonny Grubb. This has been The Monsters Playbook, featuring
Detjen-Wander as Mark Clayton.
Lauren Johnson as Anna and Kira Ashwood.
Miah Detjen-Wander as Theo Nessos.
and Johnny Grubb as literally everybody else. The Monsters Playbook is produced and engineered by Miah Detjen-Wander and edited by Miah Detjen-Wander and Lauren Johnson. Our theme song is by me, Johnny Grubb. If you liked this episode, please tell a friend. We love friends. And if you just can't get enough of the Monsters Playbook, join us on Patreon. We have bonus episodes, exclusive merch, and patron-only mini-series and side stories. Or join us on Discord, where we pretty much just hang out. We're also on social media, obviously, so you can get updates on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Tumblr, and Blue Sky. We'll see you next episode where, as always, I'll have some good news and some bad news. Thanks for listening.
Oh, wait, are we recording?
Yes.
Yes.
Sorry. I'm just sitting there.
Waiting on you, bud.
Yep, you're the starter. And Johnny's the finisher.
This is John's recording, number 2.
This is Maya's second recording.
Why did you have to say it like that? This is Lauren's second recording.
Because I'm a child.
This is Johnny's second recording.
Way to finish strong.
No thank you. No thanks. Nein danke.
I love our friendship.